Hello everyone, welcome back to Smith's Garage. So, you want to buy a Volkswagen Beetle, and I'm not here to talk you out of that. I'm just here to give you a bit of a day-to-day of what it's like to own a Volkswagen Beetle. And today, we're going to be taking out the alternator in the car. And the reason why we're taking it out is because, well, it left me stranded a while back, and I realized it's not charging my battery. But because the car has very minimal electronics, and it's not like it's fuel injected or anything, you can go a really long time on just what's in your battery and it not being charged. So I used to just leave it on the battery charger overnight, and that would get me like a solid couple hours of driving at least, as long as I didn't have the headlights on. But the weird part about the alternator on a Volkswagen Beetle is that the alternator is also what cools the engine. The pulley on the top that spins the alternator, there's a spindle in there that goes right through the back, and in this housing, there's a fan. And the fan is what technically makes the car air-cooled. And the reason why it's so unique is because when you're looking in the back of a Volkswagen, you're not really looking directly at the engine, because the engine's up underneath. You can't really see it. Like, you can see the case right here, but all you're looking at is mostly the alternator, the carbs, maybe your fuel linkages, and that's kind of all it is. Another reason why it's so difficult to take the alternator out the way it is because, well, I have a dual carburetor system in the car. And that means that I have a linkage that goes across the middle of the car, and it literally blocks off the plate that the alternator is behind. So in order to get it out, you gotta undo your throttle cable, keep this really important piece that I've definitely not lost before, and then this whole thing pops out. Obviously it doesn't come out usually this easy, but I kind of have it already set up to come out. Then all you have to do is disconnect all the cables that are connected to the alternator. Now, when I first built this engine, I made kind of a dumb decision. It wasn't that dumb, but I didn't test the alternator at all when I put it on the car. Now, that was just because I assumed that the alternator would work. It was a brand new part, and I'm pretty sure that would be everyone's base assumption. So it technically is my fault that I didn't check it, and yeah, so it ended up not working. That was my first alternator. This one, I got a nicer one, a newer brand. And sure enough, it didn't work. I don't know if what I did to how I wired the car kind of killed it over time. I don't know if my wiring was wrong, or even if they've sent me a faulty one. But that's kind of the part about owning a Volkswagen Beetle that sucks, and that's what I'm warning you about. And the other thing is too, somebody else probably knows exactly why I'm having this problem, and they're gonna think I'm really stupid for not realizing it. Or they're even gonna think I'm stupid for how I'm taking out the alternator in the car right now and being like, oh, you should have done this first, not this. But that's the thing, is you kind of just have to roll with it, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm not very mechanically inclined, believe it or not. I learned how to make a car off of YouTube pretty much, and that's what I did with this, with my dad. So, as long as you kind of have the guts to stand up for what other people say to you, and have the guts to work on your car, because Beetles do typical Beetle things, no matter how nice they are. And they're gonna break down, and you're gonna have to work on them. And this step here is my least favorite part, because this filter housing, I already unbolted it on the sides. It needs to lift up enough for this to come out, because I'm just avoiding taking the alternator stand off, and same with this piece here. I'm probably gonna scratch this black piece here, but the thing is I already scratched it the first time I did this because I was dumb, so I can't really make it much worse. And there you have it. One alternator. And there's the fan on the back. Believe it or not, I didn't scratch it more this time. All that plethora of horrible looking scratches was from the last time I did it and I wasn't paying attention. So don't do that. So now, the last step to this whole debacle is getting the alternator off from the fan in the back. As you can see, that's a pretty big ass bolt in the middle holding it on. And to make it all worse, it spins with the fan. So I'm gonna go grab my impact. And there you have it. So one big ass nut off the fan. Here's your little washer and voila, the big fan comes off. Pretty unique looking thing actually. Oh, along with this piece that I could not remember if it came off. You gotta make sure that you don't forget about these little keys. Now the little key that goes on here is this little semicircle shape, and all it is to make sure that when this is spinning, it's also spinning the fan, because it could be sliding on that. So this little semicircle looking piece sits in there, it sticks up a little bit, I don't know if you can see it, and it hooks in that little channel so that when this is on there, it spins freely, or I mean it doesn't spin freely, but like it's locked on to this. And then this whole thing comes off. And there you have it. Now you have an alternator that you can send off for repair. Well, after all that, if any of you have any ideas on why I have another dead alternator, let me know. Because I can't decide if I'm just really unlucky and they didn't send me one, but two dead alternators. Maybe I just wired the car really badly and they killed the alternators, but I'm pretty sure that I wired it well, because nothing else has been going on so far. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.